Let's add some coffee into this mix.
Coffee is mandatory.
Which one have I got today?
So.
Yeah, it's mandatory. I've got the same mug as last time. Luckily, I did wash it, so don't worry about that. It is clean.
I think we are live now.
So then we better be serious. Okay.
We better be serious. Welcome to this.
Welcome to this episode of Bean Streaming. I get to do that because I made the dad joke.
Okay.
Yeah. So, welcome everyone. Today is the first time we're going to be streaming on the AWS Twitch channel. So I think we will do a proper round of introductions, and I will be very polite and ask my friend and colleague Darko to go first.
Thank you, my friend and colleague Cobus. My name is Darko, Meszaros, and welcome to the first official Bean Streaming stream on the official AWS channel. So for people who do not know us or people who see us for the first time, hello. My name is, as I said, Darko. I'm a developer advocate as this gentleman as well. I'm based in Berlin, Germany. And I focus a lot on Central and Eastern Europe and Russia. But when it comes to technology, developer tools and management tools are my thing. So Cobus?
Awesome. So I am Cobus Bernard, and I'm based out of Cape Town in South Africa. So a bit of a distance between myself and Darko at the moment. And same time zone at the moment, because South Africa actually doesn't do daylight savings. So the rest of the world confuses us when it hits those 2 times in the year where things change. And we're like, but why aren't you here the same time as you were last week? Which actually brings an interesting point. We will have to see what happens with the time zone shift coming up in October. October or August? I think it's October.
The thing is, I think there's a chance that we won't be changing time zones anymore. So not time zones, daylight savings things. So we might completely bar it. Apparently, that's the new law in the European Union. When is it going to be applied? That's something I don't yet know. But we'll see. We will see what happens.
Awesome. That's going to cause even more confusion. So I do see that we've got a couple of live viewers, which is awesome. So let's quickly chat about what we want to do today. So from my side, what I want to play with is I have a old blog, and I think the last time I posted was in 2017 that I used to run. I made use of Jekyll, which is a static site generator. So we've got that on the screen over there. You can literally see, last post was 9th of Feb in 2017. So it's been neglected for a while, to put it mildly. Yeah. So back in the day, I set this up using Jekyll, because GitHub allowed you to do things with GitHub Pages, which allows you to host some static websites if you use one of these generators. And Jekyll was one of the supported ones. So back in the day, I did what everybody who set up a new blog did, was first go set up and then write about setting it up as the first post for the blog, because that's what you do. And subsequently, someone pointed out to me that, hey, this isn't running with an SSL certificate. And you can see that up here saying it says very nicely not secure, which is not great. So what I thought is, well, we have got this, it's not even that new anymore, AWS Amplify service that is able to build static sites using the static site generators, including Jekyll. And it can also then issue you with free SSL certificates making use of Amazon Certificate Manager. So I thought, well, this would be some great content to do on live stream. So you can see how we go about and how many times I bump my head, because I already had a quick look this morning, and it's going to be interesting because it runs on a very old version of Ruby. So we might need to first upgrade that, see if we can just get away with the new one, and then we're going to head over to Amplify and make use of code build under the hood to actually build the site for us. So that is hopefully what we're going to be doing today.
Jekyll is running on Ruby? Jekyll, it's a Ruby thing.
Oh. Yes, Jekyll is the Ruby version and Hugo is the Go version. Those are the 2 main ones I've seen people use, yeah.
Should I increase
the mic volume? Got
Okay, 1 second. Apparently
yes.
my mic volume is a bit low. So thank you, Mr.
Cool.
2Socks82.
We are doing that quickly. Let's see.
Is it
cool.
Better now?
We'll
do let me know if it's better or not. So
yeah, because I was about to say, so it's one of those weird things for us. We sound nicely the same level on StreamYard. We're using a product called StreamYard. It allows us to connect multiple people to one single stream and easily share screens like this. So let us quickly jump to the IDE that I have over here. So we're going to be using Cloud9. Which is a web-based IDE inside of your AWS developer account. So or AWS account that you can use. And what I've done here already is I've checked out that repo where the Jekyll site is hosted, and also, by the way, this is a public site. So if you do want to go dig around and see what I've been doing, it's a public repo on cobusburner.github.io over here that you can follow along. And what I've got is that, given that literally it's been 3 years and I've done a few things since then, I do remember that I did add some nice parts for me to be able to use this. One of them being a nice Docker file. The only problem now is that when I look over here, as you can see, I used a nice old version of Ubuntu. So I think what I want to try and do here is let me just make that a little bit bigger. That's bigger.
So you were running this. Where was your blog running? Was it running on GitHub pages, or was it
Yes.
just? Okay. And why the Docker file then? Is it running through Docker? I have never used GitHub pages, so.
Okay, so no, it doesn't use Docker for that, but way back what I did is I've got a very strong opinion about doing local builds inside Docker, even if you aren't using Docker for it, because then you always know what the environment is like and you can confirm that that's the way it should be run. So because this is a pet project, instead of having this Docker file pre-built and stored somewhere like on, let's say, Docker Hub or ECR, I would build this locally to be able to make sure that I can build the actual website and then also run it. So you can see over here what it does is actually installs all the parts that are needed and then runs the Jekyll server. So it makes it easy for me to locally do it without having to worry about am I on my Mac, am I on my Windows machine, how to install all the requirements, and all that.
Thank you, Mr. Tussaud. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for confirming. Awesome. So this is going to be an interesting one. I'm hoping we can get through this today because I just realized that with the Ruby and every installs that I have to do over here, it's going to be a bit interesting. So I'm going to go and naively say, let's see what happens if I upgrade to just Ruby version 2.4, if it is happy to create my container for me. So we're going to start off with that because, let's see.
0.5, I think.
Sorry, I changed that as well.
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
Yeah, I think that should work.
Well, yeah, this is definitely going to work. I do recommend always looking at the exact version you want and the exact tag, because this will give me 18.04, 01, 02, 03, 04, depending on which time I actually pulled it. So from a best practice perspective, always make sure what tag is on. But even better is actually go and take this and upload it to your own private repository, because that way you know exactly what it is you're dealing with. Cool. So let's go ahead and see that.
It's very important to version pin things, no matter what you're doing. Version pin, using the latest or just hopefully getting the same version all the time can be very tricky at scale. So make sure to version pin stuff, even if it's simple like an OS here in Docker.
And specifically, while we wait for this to quickly install, why that's important specifically with Docker is I know a lot of people make use of latest, because by default, like I'm doing now when I build with Docker, it'll tag it with latest and people push that and say, well, that's the easy way to get the latest version. The issue with that is the following. Let's say I've got a couple of containers running over here. They are version 1.2. And now all of a sudden, somebody goes and builds the new version 1.3. Now, no container is running it with this new version. Sorry, let me get my hands on the screen. But now there's some kind of scaling event. So I haven't initiated a deployment, but I've got a scaling event. For some reason, one of these containers over here dies, and then we spin up a new version. Now I've got 4 of version 1.2 running and 1 of version 1.3 running. So it gets very messy. And you want to be explicitly in control of when you do these version promotions and when you upgrade to the newer version.
Okay, gem problems. Look at that.
Yes, this is going to be lovely.
I think there's an issue with compiling Jekyll or building Jekyll, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, new strategy. How about we just jump into Amplify and see if Amplify is able to handle this? Yeah, cool. Let's go that route. Okay, so the reason, like I said, this is a very old version. 2017 is quite a while ago. And at that point, I was obviously also doing some other things. So, let us say connect an app. So quickly, AWS Amplify. Do you want to do the intro, Darko? Because I've been talking a lot.
Yes. So there's 2 things about Amplify. When people talk about Amplify, they usually talk about the set of tools and the framework for building, or actually introducing superpowers, for the lack of a better word, to front-end apps with serverless backends, right? So, but one of the other aspects of Amplify is basically Amplify Console. It's a sort of a separate-ish service, or it's a thing that can be used outside of the Amplify libraries, it basically gives you a really nice way to host a static website. So it gives you the full CI/CD experience. It handles the hosting for you. It handles feature branches. It handles pull requests. You can password sets. Also, you get a free SSL certificate. So if you wish to deploy a website, a static website, using some of the lovely static generators, such as what Cobus is using here, Jekyll or Hugo or Nuxt or whatever thing you want to use, it's a great way to do it through Amplify. So I think when somebody showed me, and it was a colleague of ours, showed me Amplify Console way back when, I was like, why did I know about this? Like, I host my static websites on servers, or I mangle it with S3 and things like that. But here, connect the repository. Just tell it, hey, which branch to pull, and well, Cobus will show you the details as we go along.
But I mean, so just quickly on that, this is a demo that I recently did using just to show how to get a Hugo site up and running. Now, the Hugo site itself hasn't been configured, so it's very empty. But you can see that it's running on SSL over here, and this is what we want to do. And we're actually also going to be reusing this domain that I've got for demos, which is buttonmonkey.coza. It's a personal one that I've had for a few years and now I'm using. So what I want to do is I first want to tear down this app or demo that I had, because otherwise I can't reuse that DNS for our SSL. So let's just quickly delete that. And then while it's deleting, we're going to go back and save all apps and hit the connect button. Get started button. Boom, boom, boom.
On the deploy side, yes, deploy side.
Yeah, there we go. So apologies if I'm looking to the side. I recently moved around all my gear over here, so I've got 3 different screens, and the camera, unfortunately, is not facing the screen that I'm demoing with today, but I will possibly look at how I can fix that for future. So we're going to go and say, grab the...
Mr. Tech Theory, this is the official AWS Twitch channel, so welcome.
Yes.
I'm sorry for
so,
breaking.
No worries. No, we've actually had a couple of new people join, so...
yeah. By the way, we used to do this on our own private channels. So we had our own private thing where we'd done these streams. So and this is the first time we're doing it through the official AWS channel. So yay! And thank you for all the new audience. By the way, we work for AWS. We're developer advocates, so our job is to talk to you guys as well. And I'm not sure if did we do a proper intro what this stream is going to be. Well, actually. Have we done it?
I think we did, but remember, because this is the AWS one and there's quite a large audience, they get notified, hey, AWS is live now. So I think what we'll do is continuously through the stream, we'll do it a couple of times. And I'm assuming the question about what country we are from is because of our accents. Because y'all can't sound like y'all.
I'm from Germany, but I'm not German. So I'm actually Serbian. So hence I have a very Eastern European accent. And Cobus is from South Africa. So... same time zone, but way apart. So he has the winter now, I have the summer. So yeah, it's fun.
Winter with a caveat saying I'm sitting here with a t-shirt and shorts again. It is warm. We don't really get cold winters.
Also, this type of stream is it's gonna happen every week at the same time. We call it bean streaming because it's a Monday. We have a coffee and we try to talk tech and do some silly things. So it's a very relaxed stream, nothing super official. It is official channel, but it's a very much we talk over each other and try to do something. We build something, like Cobus is migrating his personal website to Amplify. So feel free to interrupt us, ask us question, and yes, Cobus is Afrikaans, I think.
Yeah, that's by like a donkey. Cool. So let's get on to the joy, because I think this thing is going to have some fun for us today with Jekyll because it's so old. So we're going to connect my GitHub repo to Amplify Console and see what it can see. So firstly, I just go ahead and say connect to GitHub. I have done the OAuth workflow before, so it should, yeah, there we go. So you can see that it's already authorized. So in your case, if you're doing it for the first time, it's going to ask you just to do the standard, brings up a GitHub window showing you, please log in, or if you are already logged in, do you want to give AWS Amplify access to your repositories and different organizations or whatever your setup in GitHub is. So for now, what we are looking for is the, there we go. It's that first one, the second one, cobusburner.github.io. Branch, this is still an old one. Okay, that's actually an interesting one. I need to also go rename some of these branches and clean up my repository since we are moving away from using the naming of master branch. So then we're going to hit next, and this is where the fun is going to start, because I know that it can't pick up that it's a Jekyll app because it's so old. So this is normally where if you did something where it was able to recognize the version of Jekyll, because like I said, my one is quite old. I'm fairly certain I need to upgrade that as well. It would pick up that, it's, for example, a Jekyll site or a Hugo site. And that would actually come up, and then we'd be able to automatically have that generated. Cool. And then, so now what we need to do is we need to edit this. So if I edit this, I hit the edit button over here quickly. And I go to my repo over here and have a look at that Docker file just to see normally what I would do for to get the Jekyll server up and running. So I would say, so we use Jekyll serve. Now I have to go Google a little bit. Unless you by any chance know offhand, Darko, what the how to do that.
Jekyll? No, I have not used I have not used Jekyll in a long time. I've attempted to use Jekyll when it was first introduced with GitHub pages, but that's about as much as I know. But it's fun watching you read documentation.
Okay, definitely.
Mr. Ospefisa, thank you very much. I did really enjoy that presentation at SAP. And Max Payne ECS, welcome the Max Payne of containers. This bean streaming is basically where my friend Cobus and I have coffee on a Monday morning and we talk about tech or we build something. It's a very relaxed thing to make your Monday mornings that much easier. We are currently trying to migrate Cobus's website from GitHub pages to Amazon Amplify or Amplify Console by the use of Jekyll. So yeah, we're trying to find how to build Jekyll on code build right now. So welcome to the stream. Yeah. Every Monday from now on, at the same time, at the same place, you get to watch two bald guys attempt technology. Yeah.
And also specifically what so what you'll see here is these are not going to be super polished, and that's the entire point, is because we want to show you how we go about solving specific problems and things.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now is I knew that my blog needed to be migrated, but I didn't know how. So I'm literally now sitting here quickly looking at the commands. The current issue we're trying to solve is how to get Jekyll to be built with code build, so we can start getting some output to see what it is that it's unhappy with. So over here we can see, okay, this is cool. This looks like what I would need. So let us grab that and pop that in here for the build. This just needs to be...
So Amazon Amplify is actually using the code build, the service for building code, or actually a code that runs arbitrary commands for actually building your static website. So you pass it on a repository, basically your code, which it uses to generate your static website, and then it uses code build to actually set it all up. So code build is the key here.
Yeah, and what I'm doing here is I'm putting it into this quickly. Let's just clean this up. So we're just going to do everything in the build now. Normally what you would do is, actually we can do it.
Can we do it better? Can we do it better? Can we do it better? Can I? Yes, pre-build. Yeah? That's what I say. Yeah, pre-build. Move the gem install commands into pre-build. So
yeah.
So you can do multiple different phases in code build. One of them is pre-build, where you would do your installations. So you just kind of follow along where actually what happens. So.
Yeah. So now I need to remember here quickly, there's going to be some artifacts. There we go. So it's that I want. Yeah. So just checking. So files will be that and
start store.
Yeah. Cool. Like that. I don't have to cache anything because we'll do it cleanly. And let's go ahead and save this. And now we're going to go next and see what happens. So this will be very interesting to see how it actually goes ahead and deploys. Yeah. So this will be very interesting. I used to, so I've got another site that I'm working with quite frequently is based on Hugo. It's the DevOps Days site, because I'm one of the organizers for the Cape Town DevOps Days conference that we do once a year. Unfortunately, we're not running it this year, as you know, with the current travel restrictions and also being limited to large gathering sizes. But what we do there is that we actually have a Docker container that we use for both running and hosting it. And when I saw that like 5 years ago for the first time, like this little light bulb which just went on up, like I don't have to do Vagrant anymore, because if you look at this repo, actually, I used to be a very big Vagrant fan. and I did Vagrant for everything. And for those not familiar, Vagrant is a open source product by HashiCorp that allows you to say how you configure, for example, a virtual machine. Specifically, the one we used at that point a lot was VirtualBox. So over here, you can see there's, it would actually go set up a specific server or single server.
Zoom in a bit, please.
Oh, sorry. Cool.
Thank you.
There we go. Thank you. There we go. So what you could do with Vagrant, which is awesome, is if you set this Vagrant file correctly, you could set up a whole cluster of virtual machines, like 3 or 4 different ones, configure each of them differently, and a lot of fun things like that, which is cool. And over here, you can see that I've got setting up single box with networking, give it a name, giving a specific values like that. And there's apparently a service file. So let's just check in. I'm just filling the time a little bit while Amplify does the first build. Okay, I don't have to because it broke.
There you go.
This is what we expected. So let's take a quick look. Cloning repository obviously shouldn't work. Yeah. Front end. There we go. Okay, let's make this a little bit bigger as well. That should be readable. Okay.
Gems.
Okay, so Gems configuration has been renamed to plugins. Please update your config file accordingly. So we need to use configs first. Looks like you don't have Jekyll Gist or any of its been installed. You'll need to install this gem. Okay, so we need to install
Jekyll Gist. Yeah.
I don't know yet. Let's see. Build settings. I'll open this up in a new tab so we can continuously jump between these two.
So Amplify is smart enough to do a lot of things. It's able to understand if you need something installed, but in this case, it doesn't really know. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think if I read this message, it says that Gems configuration option has been renamed to plugins.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna use plugins and see what we get next. So let's quickly save that. And now we say this one over here.
Can you go to build? Can you go to build again? Yeah, and then rerun.
Here we go. Yeah.
Redeploy this version.
Yeah. Cool. And then it'll pick up the new build file, and then we can see what it does. So luckily, this is fairly quickly. Oh, it goes fairly quickly. What I'm going to do actually in the background so long is that because DNS always takes a while, is I'll quickly add a domain to this. Which means by the time we get our build working, the domain and everything will be sorted as well. So what you would do is, at the moment, you can see that there's this URL over here that's not very usable. So I'm going to say add a domain. And for today, I'm just going to use this button monkey one that I've got over here. We're going to say configure domain. It'll take a look at what we have. So it'll pick up that the branch names are master at the moment. And we want to use the apex as well as the www. And we want to set up a redirect. So as you can see, it just picks this up and it does all of that. And now I'm going to hit save. And I don't have to do anything to add an SSL certificate for it. I don't have to configure DNS. I don't have to, all of that is taken care of for me. So this is one of the, what Darko mentioned, it's such a great thing to do for your blogs. It's literally like, I actually did a video on YouTube recently on this, and it took me 6 minutes in total in terms of video time. Overall, I think it was about 15 minutes while I waited for DNS to set something up to get it up and running. So that's how quickly you can do it. Speaking of, if you do want to follow us on other places, we both have got YouTube channels. You can, I think, let's pop it in the chat, maybe.
Let me just, I'll share it. Give me a second.
Cool.
We do stuff there as well. Second. Cobus, do I share the? Yeah, okay, yeah, the Cobus Bernard one, yeah, Cloud Cobus thing.
Yes, the Cobus Cloud. Sorry, it's YouTube recently changed the way the way you can name channels to. It has to be part of your name. So, and I unfortunately years ago created Cobus Bernard already, so now we've got overlap. So there we go. When you don't think ahead of your DevRel career 5 years in the future. Okay,
so that is Cobus's website. Feel free to check him out. And this right here, the next one coming up, it's the one I do. So what we do here is we put recordings of some streams we do. We do also general videos as well. So yeah, do check these things out. So we would like to get your subscriptions and to smash that like button and subscribe and whatever the people do on YouTube. I don't know. So thank you all.
Cool.
Okay, so
So,
is this still working?
Yeah, it's still working. Yeah. So
Config.
actually, what the error message when I looked at it, yes, was actually the change there is in the Jekyll config file, not inside the. Yes. So interestingly enough, if I look at here, it's starting to do Jekyll build. So I think we are past the installing of the gem spot already.
Okay.
So let me quickly see if I fix this, and I need to push that to the branch quickly. So let's git add, git commit, fixing the config file. Okay, yeah, that's just because I haven't set this up. Let's actually fix that. Let's be proper developers today. And I want to do this. So just out of interest, this is a brand new Cloud9 environment that I set up this morning. So if we run into anything, this will help you hopefully learn about that. And
Cloud9, for your viewing pleasure, is a browser-based IDE that runs on an EC2 instance within your AWS account. Very useful for coding collaboration or just having a very portable environment on many different things. Is a lot of us use multiple desktops and laptops and whatnots. Having a common thing to do all your coding in is very cool. Even though, if you're a Vim fan, it supports Vim keys. So if you want to edit like Vim, works. No plugins though. But
yeah, sorry, I'm just having this fun one now. It can't find Nano because of a link, so I'm just going to brute force this quickly. It's always that one, and then to point to that one, I believe. Okay, no, the other way around. I always get this the wrong way around the first time.
The source and the destination. Source and the destination,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But for some reason, my brain has got it the wrong way around always. Cool. Yeah, now we can do this. Just say yes. And now we can go push that. It'll ask me for my key. My passphrase. Also good practice if you do use SSH keys for pushing and pulling, obviously put a passphrase on it or hook up something like a YubiKey for extra security. Okay, so now, and this is the other nice part about AWS Amplify, sorry, coffee's still kicking in, is that because we set it up and we connected it to GitHub, it actually takes care of those webhooks for us. So it automatically gets notified when there's a new build, and you can see that it automatically kicked it off us, so we can just hop in here and go take a look. Okay, so it's still busy cloning. Yeah, we can wait for it to get to the front-end building. Interesting. So, doesn't want to close this again.
For example, when we do workshops on AWS, when we build like labs, usually we build them with something like a static website. And a lot of times we personally use Amplify Console for this because it's a super simple way to create that kind of a thing in a very streamlined setup. Okay. Okay, we move to different Jekyll.
Yes, so this does make a little bit more sense. What I'm thinking over here is that if we go to the build settings over here, we edit this again. I think the phases here, I don't have this configured correctly. I don't know if it's pre-built because when I look over here I don't see any of the pre-built steps, and even if in the cloning, I don't see that executing. And normally, you do see those executing the logs at least.
Okay.
So my gut feel here is that I haven't done code build correctly. So we go code build, pre-build, or build stages. Fairly certain it's because of a typo. And we head into the documentation.
Is it pre-build or install?
That's what I'm pondering now. I, for some reason, think it's pre-build.
So go to the build syntax.
It's pre_build. There we go. Boom.
Consistency.
Yes.
Did you just consistency with underscores?
Yes, underscore dash. But the fun part here is it also highlights something where we're so used to. So me personally, either I'm copy and pasting from a previous example, or I'm using an abstracted module for my infrastructure as code mechanism for this. So now I'm just going to say redeploy this build. And now we should hopefully get a little bit more traction. So that's the other thing that Darko and I do quite a lot of, well, other than being confused for each other. And for those who are interested, that's why we called our YouTube channel Not Cobus, Not Darko, because we've had this a few times. Darko actually had someone walk up to him at Re:Invent and say, hey, listen, are you Cobus? And I've had the same. And the idea here is that we're confusing people really this week because we're doing a 4-part webinar series where I just did the first episode this morning. He's going to be doing the episode tomorrow. I'm doing the one on Wednesday, and he's doing the one on Thursday. So we do introduce ourselves at the start, but still, even with that, he's actually had someone say, "Thank you for the session, Cobus."
Yes, exactly. So maybe I'm actually am Cobus. Maybe I am Afrikaans. Maybe by donkey, right? See.
So for those that want to learn a little bit Afrikaans for today, is if you want to say thanks in Afrikaans, just say. And this is where the joke comes in, because by saying that, even if you say it in English, it sounds like buy a donkey, which buy a donkey is so close together. Most people say, okay, no problem, thanks.
Buy a donkey. There we go. We have another error. Oh, lovely.
Okay, cool. What have we got this time?
Maybe.
Yikes.
But
we don't have Jekyll.
Wait, did you commit your changes to... Oh,
did I? I did save it.
Build. Maybe the command is actually gem. Gem install.
Yes, we're now back to fully making mistakes in the dark. Okay, cool. Let's try this again. So yeah. So for those who just joined us, what I did there is that initially the error message said that gems has been replaced by plugins, and what that meant is that I thought that was the actual command here in the build config over here for the Jekyll site that we're trying to migrate. Or not migrate, but migrate to be hosted with AWS Amplify. And we are now trying to get it up and running and building. So let's see how things are going now. Okay. It is running. Apologies if you can hear the noise in the background. I have got a sick toddler that's not very happy in the room next door, but in theory, my noise cancelling should be blocking that.
Let's
cool.
hope so.
It is running. Yeah. Okay, this is always where it's fun. And I ran out of coffee, which is terrible.
I still have some. So, and by the way, this is not my first coffee in the morning. So yeah, we've lied. It is a coffee. Actually, there is some coffee still. Don't spill it. Yeah, there is some coffee in there. But yeah.
Yeah. My first one was many hours ago already. I managed to sneak out in the mornings before the kids wake up to make a coffee for myself and my wife, and then we get the day going. Okay.
Interesting. So, it starts the phase build. It doesn't do pre-build. So maybe we can go the other route and just move everything to build.
Just for now to see what happens.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it there, but I'm going to copy it and actually add it as a second one over here. Let's just save that, because we just want to confirm that it's working.
Wait, consistency. There's a different pre-build for Amplify. It's camel case pre-build. Because yes, of course it is. So
thank you for that, Darko.
So if are we talking at all in what are we talking about?
Like this
is the thing. Correct, but camel case. So the first P is lowercase.
Oh well. That, I must say, was the hardest thing for me, because I initially started my career as a Java developer, then switched over to C#, and C# uses the, what is it called? It's not camel case. No, this is camel case. Okay. So Java uses camel case, and then C# uses the one where the P would be capital as well. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know which case that
was. Yeah, that one is snake. No, it's got some term. Well, actually, while we're waiting, let's figure out what do you call.
Hello, Mr.
Camel case.
Welcome to the stream.
With first letter. Yeah. Yes, here we go. This looks like something that could be useful. Capitalization, title case, lowercase, all caps, small caps, camel case.
Snake case?
No, that's Python. Oh, camel case versus low camel case. Ooh.
Okay. I call the lower camel case, and yeah. I guess it really depends on which language you're using. Like when I'm using JavaScript, I just use camel case, but when I'm using like Python, I use dashes and underscores. Actually, on Python I use dashes. On C++ and Rust, I use underscores. So there are some languages which are very picky about which casing you use. Aha.
Cool. this is better. Now we can start going Amplify, install gems, and see how we go about doing that. Ruby gems.
No.
No, that's not going to help. Let's just build spec and see what we can find quickly. Let's just put quotes around this so we can make sure that it gets it. Maybe. This looks promising. Bundle install, so we need to use bundle install instead of that. But let's quickly double check if I have got that vendor file. Sorry, it's also been like 2 years since I've had to fiddle with any Ruby.
Yeah, it is definitely, it seems like it's bundle install, so.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? Just to see if we can progress a little bit, because this specific, these two are just there to make it visually pretty. So let's go ahead and comment them out for now and just see if we can get the basic side up and running and then fix these one by one. Git add that one. Moving for now. Cool. And just in case you're wondering, we're doing chunk-based development here directly to the main branch because I am the only developer, and we are not going to do reviews today.
Because
we
of
are
course
going to break and learn.
To deploy directly to master. So.
Oh yeah. Cool. So while that is running, we're going to wait for that. We also need to edit this. Sorry, so it will have another failure. So I'm just going to comment it out for now because we will get back to it. Save. We will wait for this. It's currently building. Oh, actually, it'll be interesting. I don't know if we will be able to get the build in time, but possibly. But what I can see is that here we go. The SSL and all that config, the domain settings have been done. So if I go back here, I can actually see that it's all available and configured now with the different URLs. So that at least is good news. So if we can get the site up, it should run.
Good morning, Mr. Arcane. What are we trying to do is we are trying to migrate my friend Cobus's website from GitHub pages to Amplify Console. So we're trying to move this to Amplify Console. So right now we're actually fighting with Ruby because Ruby is fun. So, well, Ruby gems are fun. So yeah, we're battling with that. So, but yeah, welcome to the stream. If you don't know what this is something we call bean streaming. We're drinking coffee on a Monday morning, discussing and trying to do something with tech. My name is Darko and that's Cobus. So we're going to be doing this every week at 11 for the foreseeable future. So, so welcome, and I hope you all get to follow us. On this end. Also, feel free to suggest any other topics if you'd like to see on these events. Again, this is very lighthearted. This is very unorganized. Don't think that any of this is scripted. We basically only just decide, okay, let's do this, and then we attempt. So yeah.
Well, instead of calling it unorganized, how about we go with organized chaos? Because it implies that we've got a rough idea what, but we don't know how.
Yeah. Call it that way. And Mr. Neil Zeman says if it's called Pascal case.
Pascal awesome. Case. Thanks, Neil.
Have you ever done Pascal language?
Oh, yes. That's my coding language I started off with. It was a lot of fun.
I did it in high school, but I never did much with it. I know that a lot of people who did Pascal moved on to Delphi. Delphi? Yeah, Delphi was like kind of the successor to Pascal, at least when I was younger.
Many years. Although you are a youngster, you need to get off my lawn.
I'm a bit younger.
Yeah, we had a fun discussion the other day, and I realized that there's nothing wrong with AWS Recognition, which is a service that can get some metadata out of images. And for example, if you upload an image, it gives you info about is there a person in there or is there a horse in there, eyes open, smiling, etc. And it did peg my age as between 29 and 34, and my teammates also guessed in that age range. So I'm very, very flattered. Thank you.
There we go. For me, a couple of times it said I don't have a mustache. So
that is a very interesting point. While we wait for this build, is that do you have a mustache if you've got a full beard? Because in your case, you could maybe see that it looks like a separate mustache, but in my case, it's like it's part of the big thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have a separate mustache from my beard. Basically, my beard doesn't grow all the way. My mustache doesn't connect with my beard properly. That's true. So I understand. That's a very philosophical case because, like, do you have a mohawk if you have long hair? Technically, you do. It's there. It's part of your hair, but it's not it. Yeah. See, I think Amazon Recognition is ahead of us on this philosophical discussion. So it has decided.
Okay. Cool. So what we had over here is that now we have something interesting happening. It's saying that we're in a detached head state. That's interesting.
Is it some plugins thing?
No, I think what happened there is I might have been. Oh, you know what happened? I clicked the save button middle of provisioning. That's why. I've never actually seen this, but it's interesting. So basically, what happened is in the process of making that change, I changed the build file, and it's in the back somewhere. Obviously, made something break for us.
There we go. There we go.
Let's go ahead and see. Cool. Okay. Still provisioning. Yeah, because I was curious to see if we could catch it in time. But that's how we learn. For those who wonder, this is literally how all of us learn as well. When we give you these nice polished presentations where everything just worked perfectly the first time, that's normally a few hours or days worth of work beforehand. Or we just hit the pause button while recording.
Yeah, and if you want to see, like, at least myself struggle with a lot of things, I did 3 streams on building a CI/CD pipeline with CloudFormation, CI/CD pipeline plus ECS with CloudFormation. I spent like 2.5 hours per stream, and it's like basically me trying to figure out why it doesn't work, troubleshooting, reading the docs. So it's on my YouTube channel if anybody's interested. It's if you like things raw, you're welcome. So. But it's fun, actually.
Yeah.
I've uploaded my last stream today. I will be making it public later on, and yeah, I'm gonna make a small wrap up video on top of that to kind of wrap what I've did, like kind of boil down those 7 hours of streaming into one video. But for anybody interested in the building process, it's I just pasted the link, so check it out.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm actually still trying to figure out. Okay, so it still thinks.
So you get a type error now. So I think you get a type error.
Okay.
So the commit is not a problem. So index of null. So this is, I think, a problem with. Is it with Git? It's a cloning repo thing.
That is very interesting. So let's just quickly. I'll just add a new line here quickly just to see, because I think it's because what I did was while I was provisioning, I also changed the build spec file. So it might be because of that now that it's confused. So let's just, yeah.
You can reconnect the repo to try a quick fix, or he can just try to make a new commit. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Joe Frickson says, any migration done migrating the code from one source control into AWS pipeline. I mean, moving code between source control projects or services, it really depends on the amount of things you want to migrate as well. So if you wish to migrate like all the history, I think that's possible. Yeah, of course, with your Git. I mean, it should not be a problem. Again, as long as your existing pipeline procedures are compatible with the ones you can do in AWS, right? So depending on.
And also just quickly to clarify here, make sure we understand the question correctly. Is so AWS pipeline is a like an orchestration tool for different steps inside your CI/CD pipeline to do things. And you might be referring to AWS Code Commit, which is our hosted Git service. And if that is the case, if it's a code commit, then yes, what you can do is you can clone the entire Git repository and then do a push to the other side. And because Git it's a distributed version control system, all the history is available locally as well when you make a clone. You'll push that along to the new location as well. If you were referring to being able to, for example, migrate between one deployment mechanism and another, so let's say you're going from deploying to an EC2 instance to deploying to an ECS cluster using containers, where previously it was just a plain app. Good news there is you can actually set up code pipeline to have multiple different steps, and these steps can be in series, so one, then the next, or they can actually branch out and run in parallel. So you can literally deploy to the old version directly with a certain set of commands, and then you can deploy to the containers with a different set of commands. Because during the code pipeline steps, there are ways that you can kick off deployment jobs to different sources, and they are configured differently.
Correct.
Okay, so we still have this. So I'm going to take the recommendation from Arcane, which is to go to General and say reconnect the app. Let's see quickly. Reconnect repository. There, let's do that.
I love the fact that the Twitch tags our stream as talk show and podcast. So I'm very happy
Awesome.
to be a member of the talk show.
Yes. Welcome to the show. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Oh, and also just if you have like you see us get stuck like this, please hit us up with recommendations on how to fix it, because when I joined the team, I had a chat with one of the other frequent streamers, and they said that the biggest learning they had is always keep an eye on the chat, because the two of them had been streaming for, I think, 20 minutes trying to fix a problem, and they couldn't fix it. And then one of them looked to the side, and the whole chat was literally just hit save, hit save, hit save, hit save, because they'd been editing the Lambda and they didn't save it, which means that nothing happens, which was quite amusing. So yeah, we will keep an eye on here. Yeah, Arcane, the reconnecting is, I think, similar to have you tried turning it off and on again? And it was amusing. I actually recently did an internal training. We've got various sites where you can do these little training videos, and they get followed by quizzes at the end. And the one was, it was something along, what's the right way to fix a specific problem? And one of the options was turn it off and on again. And I'm like, okay, no, that one's not right.
You never know. So this is basically that.
Cool. Let us hit here. Hit go to the build again.
Reauthenticate.
Oh, this is interesting. Now I wonder what happened here. Huh.
You broke your
well, no, it asked me to reauthenticate. Now that is interesting. But I did reconnect. Oh, that might have been okay. Let us do this. This might be the previous error message because of what happened before we did the reconnect. So let's see. By the way, can someone just quickly confirm that my audio is nice and clean still? Because it sounds a little bit unhappy in the background when I listen. For those who are joining recently, I am sitting at home with two sick toddlers. So in the background, sometimes they appear to be not that happy.
You sound okay to me. So, but that's just...
Okay, no, that's good. Cool. Okay, awesome.
Audible.
Perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Joe.
Let us see. Yeah, awesome. So I just quickly had a look. Let's see how we are going to get this. The alternative, what we can do is, I know Darko has got some CDK with Codeball Fuzz. We could switch that if people are interested in that instead of watching me break things over and over. But what do you feel, Darko?
Well, so the thing I've shown is just to build a code build setup with code commit and nothing else. So it doesn't do anything, but I can actually show this to you while this is happening. Let me just go up here and plug in my screen like that. Okay, so for all of the CDK fans out there, this is a lovely CDK project that basically creates a code commit repository and code build. So for those of you who do not know, CDK is a cloud development kit with basically it uses the power of CloudFormation to deploy your infrastructure as code through a generic programming language such as, in this case, TypeScript. So this has nothing to do with Amplify, what Cobus is doing. I just want to show here that how easy it is to create a code commit repository for your code and then a code build project to do something else. So in essence, once I think I've created this. So if I go here and I just zoom in, CDK deploy, you want to make sure that this is actually deployed. Come on, show me. Yeah, it actually is deployed. So one of the things that we can see here is if I go to code build, that I have a few things created here. I have a code commit repository. It's currently empty, but it's called Beanstream Repo. It's empty. And then I have a code build project here on this side that that's called just this horrible name. Now, how can I use this to deploy or to do what Cobus is attempting to do? Well, I could actually just create the same application. So take Cobus's Jekyll application, push it into my repository. But on top of that, I need to replicate the build spec file. So the build spec file is a file, it's basically called buildspec.yml, that will contain all the necessary steps CodeBuild needs to do to build your application, to build your static website. Now, on top of this, this will not host my website, right? So it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that code commit Amplify here does. But what it can do is that can actually, if you create an S3 bucket as well. So for example, one of the things I could do here is do something like, let's actually try to do that while Cobus is doing his stuff. So S3, let me import the S3 module. Before that, I need to install AWS, also npm install at AWS CDK S3. So I'm using my own desktop here, so I'm not using on Cloud9, but just because I've done it here. But one of the things we can do here is we can go ahead and create a bucket. So if I do const hosting bucket, camel case, new S3 bucket, and then this, my hosting bucket. And then what kind of properties do we need to define? What are the mandatory properties here? Bucket name. It's not a mandatory property, but let's call it bean stream host bucket. Cool. So now what I did here is just create a simple bucket, S3 bucket, and then with the power of CodeBuild, I can actually forward, actually upload the code from CodeBuild to S3. So it's not going to be a proper pipeline. So it's not going to be a CI/CD pipeline by any means. It's kind of a ragtag approach to this. Now I think I can do hosting as well. Yeah, hosting bucket. Is this it? Well, there's one thing we can always have a look, and this is where the documentation comes in. Maybe CDK has a more sensible way of doing hosting. If I do S3 and then bucket, can I do, or actually let me do this overview. There must be a sharing bucket, importing bucket, public access, website redirection. So there's a few properties I need to set here.
Okay, while Darko is going on with that, I can just quick update. I think the build was not actually disconnected. That's pretty normal. But what did break it was the fact that I had the cache configured with an empty array, and that's why I got that what do you call it? Index of failing, because index of 0, well, null goes boom.
Oh, okay. What kind of cache? Oh, you mean like the Git cache?
Yeah, in the actual, let me actually just show you if you can, where's my screen?
Yeah, that would be great to see that.
Just quickly as a side. So you can see at the bottom there was a, sorry, wait, yeah, there we go. Here at the bottom, there was actually a section for cache, and it was an empty array. And that's, I think, what broke the build. So now we're going ahead, and it's actually doing something again. But I think, Doc, let's hop back to you while I wait for this, and then we get to a slightly happier state so we can give people a little bit more value.
Okay, let me go back to, I think this should work. No, is it not public root access? I am creating a bucket property, and one of the things that should be here, public read access. Why are you not a public read access thing? 1 second. Let me try to do this. Public.
Do you know, maybe have that limit on your account that prevents you from making anything public, that safety mechanism?
Most likely. So, but this is something to do with me not knowing how to code. There should be a parameter here. Again, so one thing, if I make my public bucket public here, that might not be the solution. I need to set up basically hosting. Now, don't expect me to build anything out of this. One of the things that I can do here is what I'm trying to illustrate here, that I'm creating all the elements I need to host a static website through the bare services on AWS. So host my code on code commit, then build that code with code build, and besides just building the code, I'm also going to be uploading that code to an S3 bucket here. Now, this works, right? This will work if I set it up correctly. The only piece of code I'm missing right now is I'm missing build spec file, and I'm missing my static website. But the problem here is it's very bare bones. It doesn't have all the features. It takes a lot of effort to do this, and basically you get the same thing as Cobus did on his side as well. So it's pretty cool. But for all the CDK fans out there, let me just try to deploy this. If I do npm run build. But also for proper pipelines, I actually have not had a chance to play with this, and this is maybe a great time to talk about it. That code build actually introduced. So for those of you who do not know, there's you can get specific constructs for code from CDK. Basically, get predefined solutions through CDK. One of the things that CDK introduced, I think 10 days ago ish, 12 days ago, was CDK pipelines. Basically, it's in preview. It gives you the ability to define your entire pipelines through CDK, through code. So creating proper CI/CD pipelines through CDK is now much easier than it used to be before. So pretty much fun. So that's something I expect to play with it in the upcoming days. So if you're interested in my streaming, I do streams every Thursday and Tuesday. It's on my Twitch channel, not on this one. It's somewhere else, but I guess I can chill more. So HTTPS.
Well, why don't we here as well? I believe we organize some time for you on the official channel.
Maybe, I don't know, but my streams are they're even less official than this. Let's call it that way. So, so I am very much on. I drink on my streams, so let's call it that way. So if you like to see me drink on streams, especially if it's a Thursday, trying to build something, not drink water, Cobus, drink the better water.
Yes. So maybe just for those, how we ended up with the name Bean Streaming is that initially this was called Streaming on the Rocks, where on a Friday evening, Darko and myself would sit and have a nice beverage, and then do the same thing pretty much, except with obviously a little bit slower. We changed it to office hours to be able to reach more people in our time zone, which is the EMEA, so Middle Europe time zone. So interesting. I am still getting, if we want to switch back to mine, I'm still getting my index of error, and still seems to be caching. Because if you look at line 21, it says retrieved environment cache, and then it says error. So I'm thinking this is still my build file, that I have something broken here. So what I'm going to do,
I don't think it's even a build file, because here's the thing: it doesn't reach your build part at all. So it's currently only on the config. You know what? Delete the application, create it again.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to just quickly do. Well, let me just grab this. No, I just want to do one more thing. I want to cut out this, because I have got a sneaky suspicion that might be part of the problem here, because we're not getting very far.
But so you're not even passing the cloning part. That's the thing. It doesn't even go.
No, it did pass the cloning. If I go to...
No, if you go to build, if you go to...
build, output here. So it does all of this, checking out get submodules, retrieving cache complete, extraction, retrieved cache. That is weird.
It doesn't reach the build phase. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah. Okay. Well, let's do the following. Let's grab this. Boom, boom, boom. Edit. Grab all of this. Cancel. I like that suggestion. All apps action.
Hello to Melbourne. Welcome to the stream. I guess it's evening for you. So welcome to a late evening coffee for you, I guess, Mr. Umit.
Cool. Let's say all apps. We're going to. So
I used to work in premium support, and a lot of times when customers had problems with something not working out of the blue, try to do it again, and sometimes it works. And this is a solution a lot of the times. When it doesn't just work. It's the first one. Yeah.
That one, cool. Select the main branch. It'll be interesting to see what we broke. Okay, let's edit this, and now this is now the what do you call it version? The this is the conference version, or where everything is. Oh, look, I've got a
Okay.
build file. It just works
8 p.m. in
because I
Melbourne. Oh,
pasted.
wow.
Oh, nice.
It's 8 hours
Cool.
plus.
7 deploying. Cool. Let us see what happens.
Well, I'm happy we can get some audience from that side of the world as well. So
Now, I think it's middle of the night in the US, so we can continue for a little bit longer. I don't have anything pressing after this. Let me just double check. Yeah, we are good.
hello, Melbourne. Hello, Australia. Wow. Yeah, the
Yeah.
US folks are still asleep. Fast asleep.
Yeah, so we get to play a little bit longer. So what I'm doing over here is I'm just reconnecting the custom domain along with SSL certificates. You can see the config over here. I'm going to jump through this very quickly because I want to try and get that build going. But this, I'm just doing this in the background so that when we do get to the point where it's working, our SSL and everything will be configured. And you can see over here that it's going to go ahead and create a certificate for me, install it, configure it, validate, all of those things. I don't have to worry about it. I just have to worry about, is this thing building, which does seem to be an interesting challenge at the moment.
Maybe your repo is broken. So it's currently doing this thing. So
let's see, this is now where
cache.
but see, we are not in a detached head state anymore,
It
so
works,
I'm getting a better feel about this.
But the build failed. Doesn't matter, but the build failed.
That's good. Now we're getting to this point. This is awesome. Okay, cool. It appears you have pagination turns on, but you haven't included the Jekyll paginate gem. Please ensure you have plugins Jekyll paginate. Okay. This sounds better. Let us go back here.
Erkan, we did create a second app. Well, basically we deleted the original one, just created the new ones. There was some issue with caching and its pulling of the Git repository for some reason. I think a better approach here was to just redo the thing. Faster time to market would be to just redo all the things, because it's so simple to redo things. It's a much more thing of infrastructure as code as your choice, and then you just do the delete command, and then you recreate it again. But you don't have persistent storage there, so hopefully.
Yes. So while we're on that was one of the hardest lessons I learned many years back I did it first with CloudFormation, then I learned and then I forgot, and then I did it again with Terraform, which was not focus on what I'm doing when there's things telling you that, hey, listen, we'll be deleting this resource and recreating it, because in AWS certain resources, there are certain properties that you can change and other ones you can't change. You have to completely tear something down and rebuild it. Now, the infrastructure as code tools are awesome with that because they know exactly how to do that, except not always warn you that, oh, by the way, your data, hope you got a backup.
Yeah. So
cool.
Also, make sure to separate your persistent storage from the rest of your infrastructure as code, because you don't really want to keep the database with your persistent storage or some buckets in the same piece of code as your rest of your formal systems. So yeah, that's a very important thing to think about. So we have folks here from Dubai, we have folks here from Australia, from Brazil. I guess we had somebody from South Africa, at least if that person who asked you before, are you Afrikaans?
Oh yeah,
so
definitely. So I think given that we've just hit the second hour now, let's run through the round of introductions again and quickly what the channel's about. So basically, Darko and myself have been doing these joint streams for a while, and we have now rebranded to this specific time zone, and we're calling it Bean Streaming, which is my dad joke. I've got 2 kids, even though before kids I was still big into the dad jokes. And I am based out of Cape Town, and I am on the AWS EMEA Developer Advocate team, looking after Sub-Saharan Africa. Darko.
Yeah, my name is Darko, as he said. I'm also on the same team as Cobus, but I cover the Central and Eastern Europe and Russia regions. I am from Germany. Well, I'm actually based in Berlin, Germany, but I'm originally from Serbia. So hence the weird accent. Yeah, and we have Ireland here as well. So there we go. I used to live in Dublin for 2 years, Mr. Arcane. So I still am calling Ireland the best country in the world, best people in the world. The only thing is Dublin is very expensive. Oh god, Dublin is something else when it comes to being expensive, especially for Europe. So
So I see Tal is also a fan of dad jokes. So I will entertain you while the build goes.
Yes.
So favorite dad joke of all time is that. Do you know what the difference between a good and a bad dad joke is? Timing.
Mr. Arcane, yes, that's what I worked in premium support
Yes.
in Dublin.
Cool. We are busy provisioning, so it's busy creating a new build. So just for those not familiar with AWS Amplify, it's a framework that actually allows you to do a lot of things in using AWS services without you having to necessarily do them or click around. So in our case, what we're doing is we want to get my personal blog, which I haven't touched since Feb 2017, and is not hosted on a secure connection. We want to move that to be AWS hosted and make use of AWS Amplify. And the blog itself is using Jekyll, which is a static site generator. So when you look at the code, for example, where'd my GitHub go? Let's just open up this over here. GitHub. And that was something like, there we go. So what it looks like in the background is that there will be a bunch of files in here, and you can, for example, go to, let's say, posts, and I can click any of these posts. So let's say open this one, and it's just if I go to raw, it's just a markdown file. And you can see this is what it looks like when I actually write the blog post, and then you can preview it locally. And then what it does is it takes this and it turns it into these, but it does that by generating static files. So you get the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript files out, and that's the only thing you host, which means that there's no dynamic component, so you don't need any compute. So it's here are some files, serve them somewhere, and Amplify makes that super easy to do. Okay, cool. Here we go. Now we're getting some more. Right. It says that we have paginate turn on, but we don't have that included.
So
let's
I think
double check.
maybe you just need to do this in the. Okay? So you did your plugins. Don't you have to install them through code build, or is this just to the configuration file?
Here we go. It appears you have the pagination turned on, but you haven't included the Jekyll paginate gem. Ensure you have plugins that in your config file. Now, if I look at my config file over here, I do seem to have that in here. Now, let me just actually change this around. Oh, no.
Cobus.
Yep.
Or maybe you can just refresh your thing. No. Are you sure? Are you on the right build result page? Can you just
Yeah, I'm fairly certain. Let's just double check. Oh, good point.
There you go. Oh, thank you. So always look at chat. Thank you, Mr. Arcane. Always look at chat. So we didn't even run the build yet.
Yes. But the good news there is that I already picked up a problem, is that I had a space over there, and I think YAML will not like that.
YAML is weird. YAML is sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, so while we're waiting for that, there's a very fun YAML thing that I saw recently. Is it was something like this, which was let's say allowed countries, where someone had this saying Sweden, Norway, and what else should we use?
Denmark, of course. You're using Denmark.
Cool. So someone had this in YAML, and then it was working and everything was good. Someone came along and said, listen, well, we're not going to make this shorter because, there is an ISO standard for 2-letter country codes. We're going to use those. And I believe Sweden is, I think, SE. Sorry, SE. And Norway is NO, and Denmark is DE that I lead. Now, you can see here in the DK. Oh, apologies. I am not from Germany. So what you can see over here is that luckily this editor actually understands the difference between the different values over here. You can see that no suddenly goes blue. And in case you're wondering, no is interpreted as a binary false in YAML if you specify it like that. And all of a sudden things just broke and mayhem ensued. So, yeah.
YAML. So I think YAML, I use YAML a lot because it's relatively easy to write, but there's so many problems with it a lot of times. So
here we go. So this is actually how it creates the container that's busy running, and you can specify your own one if you want to. We are using the default built-in one. And let me have a look over here. So it installs, I'm fairly certain it installs Jekyll. Yep, Jekyll is installed. So yeah.
So Mr. Arcane, JSON to YAML build converter is is cool. If you convert JSON to YAML, that's amazing. The only problem with it is you cannot include all of your lovely comments and the stuff. So
Okay, so now we're going to go if I can spell it, Amplify Jekyll
are you sure you
gems.
were looking at the same page again?
Let's just double check.
You were not. You were looking at the broken one. Close the broken tab.
Oh, sorry. This is.
Close
Let me
the-
just do that quickly. No. Bold settings. That's why I'm confused. Thank you, people. And Darko. So it's amusing when I pronounce Darko, like I would if it was Afrikaans. Well, with a very heavy Afrikaans accent, I think it's closer to what you would expect it to be.
Yes. Yeah. So my
Because if I go Darko, that's
Darko is very Americanized. My name. It's Darko. It has the strong
Darko.
R. Darko. Yes. Darko.
Yeah, it's actually quite easy because Afrikaans is also a very guttural language. So for me, it's easy to pronounce. Let's just quickly get our build file over here. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. And what is going on here? We are still waiting for the provisioning.
Maybe refresh the page.
Yeah, hard refresh when all else fails. Although this is still build 15. Is that...
Maybe you were looking at the wrong file. I don't know.
Oh, very, very good. There we go. That would make sense. So, once again, lesson learned. Even people that are supposedly seasoned developers forget to look at the right page. So, build number 2. Awesome.
Something failed.
Sweet. What have we got here? Mapping values.
It's your
online
it's your YAML. It's your YAML file. It's basically what you fixed. So
that's space.
The space. Yeah. So commit it again, and
yeah,
maybe this time it works. So we can wrap up the stream and let you people go.
We'll fix that.
YAML is bad. YAML is had.
I was going to go hard, but
I was saying YAML is bad.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of people throwing shade at Toml. Toml is again another markup language. I've used Toml on Hugo. Hugo uses Toml for configuration files, but I'm not sure how bad is it. I mean, I've been using it very lightly, so I cannot really say, oh, it's horrible. But I know people compare YAML and Toml. Yeah.
Well, we're waiting for that. I know it seems that maybe the Go community likes it because if you look at traffic config, it's a reverse proxy. If I go in here, that's where I got my first introduction to Toml. Let's see here.
I mean, I like Toml because it uses the square brackets for sections, so it's much more visual than YAML. But
let's have a look in. Yeah, it looks very like YAML. I don't have a sample here close, but we can visit that in a future episode maybe. Let's not get started.
Hugo sites use Toml. So yeah, if you ever built a Hugo site, it's Toml. So
cool. Let's see, build number 3.
Yeah, that's the one.
This time we got something back. Yikes. Looks like I don't have Jekyll paginate installed, so we're now back to that error. Okay, now we're making progress, finally. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to edit this one, and I'm going to, in here, say gems install, and we had it, where did we had that? Yeah, I just want to grab it from the actual GitHub portion here to see if we can install all of our requirements. Let's go there. So if I hop into my Docker file where I had what I need installed in terms of the gems. Interesting. I didn't have it installed here. How did this work? That is super fascinating. Okay, let's go back to our error.
Maybe a new version of Jekyll. Maybe a new version of Jekyll. So
yeah. Very, very possible.
YML files takes precedence over your Amplify Console one. So do you have a built? Yeah.
Let's have a look. I have no idea. Like I said, it's been a few years since I've had to touch this. I have got no, I don't have anything that looks like that. So this is the config for Jekyll, and I don't believe Jekyll. Actually, that's a very good question. Let's see. Is there maybe something in here that does gems? No.
Um,
Okay, so I'm going to go with trying to install the gem. I believe it's gem install, not gems install. Save. Let's kick that build off. The Ruby bits are slowly coming back to me. Boom. Redeploy this version. Okay, no worries, Arcane. We were I could probably edit it directly inside the GitHub website, but I just prefer doing it normally with my Git commands because it helps me do my muscle memory of remembering where to type. Cool. Let us see. What have we got? What have we got? Okay, here we go. Build kicking off. At least we know we can check out the build now. Big achievements. Celebrate them.
and also the great thing here is that it's very relatively easy to do this at scale. So, I mean, we didn't do anything locally, like we didn't try to test locally. You can just kind of kick off the build at any time, and it's gonna cost you little to no money. So that is very
well. Remember, you get 1,000 build minutes free with Amplify
in the first year. Yes, if you use the
Yeah.
in the free tier, you get 1,000 minutes per month free of build. So okay,
Okay, now we're making progress. Awesome. Unknown tag guest. That is fine. Right, this is good because now I can go over here and I can say it is Jekyll guest, I believe it's called. Save. And over here at the same time, I need to enable that plugin. So let's save that. Let's add config. Plugin back, and now we're going to push that. Okay, let us see. Let us see what we can see.
refresh.
Let's just refresh
Please.
that.
I don't trust.
Yeah.
I don't trust your fixed tab. So yeah.
When trust is lost, it's a sad day. While this is actually going on, what I want to do is just in a different tab, just to show people the happy path where you wow them with how awesome and easy it is. I'm going to say connect an app. I'm going to go GitHub. Next. This is now the super polished
Working
conference
example.
Yes. So I'm just going to go Hugo here. I've got I did this with Startup Garage. It's a Hugo site, main branch, next. And you can see over here, the fun here is on line 6. It picks up that it's a Hugo app. And also knows exactly what files then to use for setting everything up. So I'm just going to go ahead and say boom, next, and save and deploy. And we will put this right at the end here in terms of tabs so that I don't confuse myself again. Okay. We are seeing some... Did this actually work? Could this be? Let's see. It's stopping the
Error
login.
cannot read property paths of undefined. It's a Jekyll error. So
Let me just double check. Where are you seeing the error?
line 39. So
Okay, no, but that's a warning.
type error. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
no. Well, it's I'll be interested to see what happens here.
It's done.
Oh,
it's done.
let us see. Let us see. Oh, that's not good.
Try the bare URL. Is there like a bare URL?
Yeah.
Maybe you can find it.
You go here. You would have to go over here into general. Where do we get that bare one?
Domain.
Oh wow, this is maybe domain management. Ah, there we go.
Try that one.
Yeah, I think what happened is because I killed the app and then recreated it.
So this is an S3 thing. So you can see that Amplify hosts stuff on S3, and it has failed. So apparently it doesn't have a file. Is this pointing to a specific index file? So this can also be working in general, but when you try to access a Jekyll site, it tries to point you to an index file or a 200 HTML file or something like that. That it's not. So how does Jekyll look like? Is it generating an index file?
It should just generate a I actually like, let's say, React or Vue. This is much less complex than that. It's just pure HTML that gets popped out. Cool. Denny 41's has got to add.
Yeah, you have to do index.
Let's have a look. Slash index.html. Let's just double check. Okay, no. Have I got this right? No. Interesting.
No, this, yeah, just slash index HTML. But yeah.
So now I think what's probably happening over here is that it might be this build config that I've got. So if I go, the fact that I say the site over here could be the issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm just quickly going to add a step over here that says find everything for me because I want to see what I've got in this current directory and just list it all. And then we're going to kick off a new build and quickly do the old, it's effectively the log print of build fixes. Let's go ahead and say, where's my build? Oh, no, wait. There. Build. Redeploy this version. So the good news is that we now literally have got the content. We just need to figure out what do we actually put or give Amplify to go deploy for us. And I think it's definitely that little value over there. So let's just have a look. Yeah, we were just waiting for this. And then while that's waiting, you can see in the background the Happy Path demo has worked, and I can click on that link and it'll open up this new Hugo site, and it's beautifully deployed. And now I could go, for example, just add the what do you call it? Whatever content I want to it, or custom SSL, because it's currently running on that domain. But good question here. One thing that I did now think, maybe, let's just check. Voila. Okay, so we are now making progress. Right. Now, we need to figure out how do we make it so that it knows how to do that. So that is definitely the issue. So the content is there.
It's the build settings, actually the output. You should not use _site. You should use base there. So go to config. Base directory should be _site. So /_site. So root, site, exactly. And then basically just do that. So it will go into the site directory, and then it will take those files out. So
okay. So we know this isn't going to work because it's just the extra outputs. Actually, let's then remove our debug because we, in theory, won't need this as well. Save that again. Go over here. We'll just wait for it. It just needs to verify it now. It'll just deploy the broken version again and redeploy. Okay, this is getting somewhere. It only took us an hour and a half.
Couple of things we learned today. Ruby gems are hard. If it doesn't work, recreate it once again. And also, consistency sometimes doesn't exist in all the things. So,
yeah. But also, if you're thinking about, especially if you're doing CI/CD, this is literally the process. Figure out something where you can, for example, set up a separate branch, sort all of this out, go through these learnings, and then once you have the polished version, then you go do your presentation to the team. That's where, other than adding a beard, is an easy way to make them think you know everything because you just show them the happy path.
Also camel case. So we learn what camel case is and what's Pascal case and all this stuff. So
although I don't think he's got it right there. It's don't you mean it's supposed to be like this?
Yes.
I think wait, there we go. That is what we wanted as
camel case. God, no, that's
horrible. Oh wait, you click on it, sorry.
That's horrible. No. Camel case. Yeah. Mr. Arcane, you learned nothing. We should invent our own case. I need to think of a case to use myself. But so great when it was all just lowercase or all uppercase. We don't have to worry about things. So 10, print, Darko, 20, go to 10. It's all uppercase. Ooh. Nobody cares about lowercase. Simpler time.
So I actually, it's at one of the projects I had to do, and this once again will give away a bit my age, is we had to write a network protocol to be able to send files using assembler. So at one point in my life, I was able to write a bit of assembler directly and know how it worked, but please don't ask me that anymore.
I did
yeah.
assembly in high school. In high school, we had like a class on assembly language, and I mean, knowing assembly is very. It's very difficult to say I know assembly, because assembly is what for which processor, which architecture, right? Assembly for Commodore 64 is very different from an assembly for an x86 system. So yeah, it's also very interesting. Wow.
So it's now on the verification stage. Let's see.
Some CSS things are missing here, apparently.
Oh! And
success!
Well,
I would drink alcohol now if I had some. What?
No. Almost success. Just remember that cram down. I get the feeling that might have been important. So let's just see if the actual posts look right, because this looks okay. Yeah. Yak shaving. Eyeballing it looks okay.
What is crackdown?
I seem to remember that I used a very specific markdown change at some point. Okay, so what's happening here? Good point. Sorry, Arcane is saying that it's not secure. So what I believe is happening is domain management. Let's just see over here. Let's just see if I've got it over here. Oh, here we go. HTTPS, DNS record, school, manage subdomain. No, not that. Do I have automatic redirect? Let's just double check. Let me just do
go to the settings of SSL. I think there
okay,
not domain. It's the rewrites and redirects.
Sorry, where on the page is that?
Rewrites on the left hand side, rewrites and redirects.
There we go. Gotcha. Thank you.
So basically, source is HTTP to HTTPS. So one of the things you can create one more.
Oh, we have to add another one. HTTP.
So this thing uses ACM. It uses AWS Certificate Manager, so it's free. You don't pay for your certificates, which is amazing because everybody needs to have SSL on their websites. No matter what you're doing, have SSL, and this will help you do that. So
let me just quickly see. This is going to be a permanent redirect, and we want to go to button monkey.co.za. Yeah, add another rule.
I was under the impression that this should have been done automatically, but for some reason it
I also think so, but I think that's definitely something we can take a look at or at least report back next week. So hey, we've got the first new segment of our show, which will be, hey, what did we break last week or did wrong, to let people know. So what I'm just doing here is once again brute forcing it. So I'm going buttonmonkey.co.za for those who are interested. That is the custom domain I have. We're going to redirect that as well. And I want to move this rule down. Chuck, save. Okay, cool. Now let's see if I do a hard refresh here. This might take a little bit to, let's just see, does it tell me how long it takes to apply this? Dunk, those two. Oh, wait, this isn't right. Why do I have a slash there? Sorry, I've learned that if you've got values that you shouldn't, you often have bad experiences. Cool, bonk. Tuk. That all looks good. Force reload. Oh, it's because I'm not going to the base. Oh, now here we go. Wait, sorry. Not secure. There we go. It is. Okay, so let me just go back and do this. We were right.
Okay.
Remove, save.
But why is it not secure?
Well, that's not what I want to see. So let us quickly, if I open up this.
SSL verification? Do you have multiple? You don't have. Maybe you are pointing something to this same domain from somewhere else?
Could be. Let's just see buttonmonkey.co.za. If I go explicitly HTTP, I want to see that it redirects it to HTTPS.
It did.
Right.
It did.
Yeah. So the certificate is valid. It says I'm actually not sure, but the chances are this is probably because I had a different app running here. Let's just see what it says about the learn more part.
Because you're not using everything through SSL, through HTTPS. Maybe you have hard-coded HTTP or something like that.
Oh, I know what this is. It is probably that image somewhere. I vaguely remember all of that.
Yes, there's a in Gravitar. Go to Gravitar. I'm just looking at your source code right now. So your Gravitar is actually pointing to HTTP directly. So
where did I configure the Gravatar icon, do you think? Oh, that's this. It's that.
So sidebar header. So basically, it's using image in HTTP www.gravatar.com. So that's why it is actually breaking. So your site will show up as insecure, even though it's using SSL, as long as you have any HTTPS thing there. So you'll see image SRC. See that it shows here.
There
HTTP
we go.
Gravatar. So yeah.
So this will be interesting if I do that. This is in post, yeah. Okay, and this last one, I'll be very curious to see if, S, also save. So save. Cool. Let's just make sure I commit all the files. Yep. Fixing Gravatar, HTTPS links.
And also, if you want to have your own Cobus Bernard website for yourself, this thing is this public? It's public, right? No.
It's public.
Yeah,
this
repository is public, so you can be your own Cobus Bernard as well.
I mean, at one point I had it as a private repo because I had convinced myself that you'll see there's a folder called, actually, let's go look what's in there. I'll be very curious. I have this folder called drafts where I had some other ones. Oh, wow. I had quite a few busy going. That I didn't want to make the drafts public because I was scared someone's going to steal my idea for a blog post.
I thought you were storing your credentials as well. So.
No, not at all. Nice. I was busy doing that. This is quite a fun view into the past me. What did I have on the notes? Let's see. What did I want to do with that? Oh, I remember now. I wanted to create, because I'd gotten some new, my first set of IP, as in network IP-based cameras. And I wanted to set up something that allows me to take photos when you tweet. So you can tweet something and it takes you a photo of what's going on outside. Something like that. Yeah, so I must revisit this.
Super interesting. Before you had kids, right? So
a long time. I had so much free time. Yeah. No, it's one of those hilarious things where how it works in terms of it's like Maslow's hierarchy of thinking about things. Is when you are single,
now. It works.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let me double check. Thank you. Awesome. So that was it. Thanks for helping me there, Darko. But I mean, how the free tier works, the tier of free time works is that when you're single, you've got a lot of free time. And then when you start like spending time with someone else, you go like, well, I had a lot of free time before this. Then you move on to having kids. And you go like, I had a lot of free time before having kids. Then you go into lockdown with no help. And you go like, I had so much free time, period. So now at the moment, even though I don't have a lot of free time, I'm still very, very happy that I've got at least the ability to have, 1 and 2 hands. You see these two? Being able to work without holding little kitty while I'm working. So I'm very, very happy with that. I'm very privileged to be able to do that. Cool. So it only took us an hour and 35 minutes.
Yes.
But my blog is now mostly migrated, except this is not on the normal domain that I would do it. The reason for that is that I actually have the domain cobus.io, which we started off with over here. And that one is hosted in a personal AWS account because we don't...
And it's also not
it's also not secure because this is not even HTTPS. That's why it's not secure. Because it's still hosted on GitHub pages. So what I'll do now is in my personal account, I will now take all of these learnings and just connect the site paste in the build job, and magically it'll work, which will be awesome.
Yes.
It'll take me about 10 minutes. So hopefully by the time we chat again next week, this has been done.
Yeah. So this was super fun, at least for me. I'm not sure about you guys, but I had fun. I had fun looking at Cobus, reading the documentation, and me trying to do the same. So as you can see today, we successfully, after some effort, migrated the Cobus's personal website to Amazon Amplify from GitHub pages. As you can see, it only took us an hour and a half. But we did learn a few things about how to fix things when they break with GitHub, and then you just recreate your application and gems and YAML and camel case. And we also learned that we have a bunch of audience from around the world. So thank you very much for coming here. I really hope you enjoy this. We're going to be doing this every Monday from now on, with coffee, potentially more coffee. And next week, I guess it's going to be me in the driving seat who's going to be doing something, and Cobus is going to be just laughing at me reading the docs and pointing out my mistakes.
Breaking things in the background.
Speed run, right? There we go. We should speed run deploying websites on any percent. So cool. Once again, thank you very much. Feel free. CDK. I would love to do CDK next time. So maybe we can do a short introduction into CDK or building something with CDK, because I'm a fan of my code and my things. So as both of us are. So
one more thing quickly, what you'll start noticing with this official AWS Twitch channel is that, like we said earlier, is the Darko and myself are based inside the EMEA time zone, and we finally managed to organize for us to be able to stream to it. Previously, we weren't able to, so you'll see a lot more things pop up in this. If this is a friendly time zone for you, or time that you can actually attend, you'll see a lot more things popping up. So, for example, if you come back on Thursday during this slot, so at the start of this, whatever the start hour was for you, you can join the AWS Africa office hours, where it'll be myself and some other teammates tackling questions as they come in and having discussions. So definitely keep an eye on the Twitch channel to see when things are going live, because we will be in this time, like minus 3-4 hours, plus 3-4 hours from now, there'll be a lot more things coming in the near future.
Yes, exactly. So expect more from us for sure. And again, thank you very much, and feel free to send us any feedback on the Twitters or find us via carrier pigeon. Doesn't really matter. We're all over the place. And also thank you for all the support, Mr. Arcane, and thank you for the general nice chat audience, everybody here, and thank you for your time mainly. So see you next Monday.
And also let us know what you let us know what you want us to do. So we are here to, I would say, educate you, but possibly just entertain you as well.
Educate and entertain. So
edutainment.
Edutainment. There we go. So cool. Thank you very much. I will be stopping the stream right now. So hope you enjoyed, and we will be seeing you next Monday. Cheers.
Cool. Cheers. Bye.